to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim! Climb the ladder, kid! Make yourself famous!
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I'm your host, Mr. OTM, Kyle Gagliardi, and my co-host is my good friend, Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on, Kyle? It's been a couple
Not
weeks.
much going on. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks that me and you have done a show, or you have done a show, I should say.
Right.
How was your 4th of July? It's 4th of July week, I guess you could say. It's kind of thrown off my days. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm on summer break and 4th of July. It's like in the middle of the week, so we got a couple things we're battling. But over the weekend, spent some time in Oregon. Our 4th of July, we did nothing. I woke up and ran a 5K. And
Of course you did. On the 4th of July, nonetheless.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a little fun run in town. We had some cross country kids sign up and run with it. So both the cross country coaches, I beat all the high school kids. So
Yes,
they
you did.
2 days after I ran 57 miles. So they've got some work to do.
Wait. Let's just not gloss over that. You said 57?
Yeah.
How is that even possible? How are you still alive? What?
I didn't even win.
Damn.
Came-
You placed though. You placed. Don't sell yourself short.
I was in first place for the first about 5 hours, and then I went out too fast. I was running too fast too early. Didn't quite have my paces dialed in. But yeah, it was a 12-hour race up in Oregon. Clicked off 57 miles. That's a new record for me in a day. Last year I did 52 miles in 15 hours. So that was fun. But Eugene, Oregon, great place to stay. After the race ended at 8 p.m. I got half of Money in the Bank done at night, and then half on the way home the next day. So great. That was a great show. We had a great weekend in Eugene. Great running town for that's where Nike was founded. So University of Oregon, a lot of running stuff that we did. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of really good food. Yeah, glad to be back on the show though. Talk some Money in the Bank.
That's right. That's all we're talking about today is Money in the Bank. You know, we could talk about AEW, but not really much to talk about. It's on a slow build to all in and all out right now.
How was your 4th?
4th was good. We obviously always do it in the seasons out in Northwest Indiana where my parents live. We always host. All the friends were over. Family friends were over. Me and Ryan Vogus, former MVM and guest of the show, won the Bags tournament. We are the 2023 Bags champions. So we got that going for us. And it was just a long weekend in general because it kind of just bled into the 4th. And it started off on Friday with Warrior Wrestling. Me and Ian got to work alongside with Warrior. If you don't know what Warrior is, it's an independent promotion located here in the Chicagoland area. And we had Ian working the bell, which he got some heat for. We shared the story in our group chat about it. One of the wrestlers, his name is Storm Grayson, as Ian rang the bell for his match, was like, "You're as good at ringing the bell as he is as wrestling. Not good." And we're like, "Oh shit!" Ian's got heat with a legit wrestler right now. So, I mean, he figured it out though. I don't know if you saw any of the clips or the pictures, but Ian got to be a part of the fireworks that was on Casey Navarro and Frank the Clown's entrance.
That was fun. That's a cool thing.
I got on the walkie. I had the signal. This is a little peek behind the curtain, guys, and how a show is put together. I was told my signal is when the belt is handed over to the champion to go, "Ian, light the fireworks." And the timing worked out perfectly. The finish of Matt Cardona versus Casey Navarro was on top of the press box. Did you see that finish there? And Jeremy was the referee.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so it ended there on top of the press box, and then we had another cue once the hand was raised of Casey Navarro because he ended up retaining his Warrior title that Ian let off those fireworks. So it was really cool. We got to do a little bit more than we're used to, and it felt like we were more a part of the Warrior family, it's so fulfilling to be out there. And I know you've seen shows, so you know a little bit about them.
Yeah, and as this show, you got a little bit more responsibility, because again, you could be friendly and volunteer your time, but if you're not good at anything, they're not going to ask you back, right? So like, it's one of those things where it's a cool experience to be behind the scenes, and you're helping, and that could lead to more and more down the line. It's a great thing.
Yeah, I don't want to spill the beans, but it could lead to more things with myself, with Ian. They seem to like us, and we like working there. So definitely check out Warrior. Let's go to Ryan Matthews' comment here. He said, seeing Matt Cardona that close would have been insane. And we know it's more insane about it. I got to walk Cardona back to the locker room after the match. So he did his finish and everything. The fans cleared the stands, and I'm walking back with Jeremy and Matt Cardona. Just so surreal.
We got a signed figure here of Matt Cardona right there. Mikey and I got him signed at GCW in Vegas. He is jacked. A unit of a man, vascular, hypertrophic, just an absolute piece. Love him, and he's kind of funny.
Yeah, he is a funny dude.
Yeah.
He's the king of content creation. I mean, he was doing stuff that went viral on the internet before really social media was a big thing. So you could tell Cardona was way ahead of his time. But yeah, that was an awesome experience at Warrior Wrestling. But let's get to the chat, because Ryan Matthews is saying that his good day just got better when he realized it was an OTM recording day. Every OTM recording day is a good day, right, Doc?
Yeah.
There it is. Kyne's in the house. He is the OTM PLE champion. So shout out to Kyne. I believe nobody was really close to him other than Robbie Collins, right? Do you remember how it finished up?
I was out after 2 matches, and I was like, peace, y'all. We'll see ya.
You just stopped paying attention.
This card might be great, but the title's not coming to me. We might have a great show, but I'm not in the running. So yeah, they were on one.
They were. It's Tino's time. Tino's in the house. Said, "Sup, guys? What's going on?" Tino, thanks for stopping by. Eric Douglas saying, "Hi, how are you?" Tuck, how are you doing?
Great. Repping the Commonwealth Kingpin, Will Ospreay. Got that in a Pro Wrestling Crate. Kind of relevant to Forbidden Door.
And that's still coming monthly, correct, for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, we got some news on the way. I don't know. I might have to change the subscription a little bit. But I will say, Forbidden Door trivia. Did you know the logo for the Forbidden Door poster is Kenny Omega's eye?
No, I did not know that.
Close up of his like retina.
Oh, okay. All right. Where'd you find that out at?
The internet.
Yeah,
it was just on Twitter. Somebody like Sports Kita or What Culture, something like posts like that.
I tell you what, Twitter was acting a fool during Money in the Bank. I don't know. You obviously didn't experience it because you were running. Mm-hmm. Oh, Elon Musk. He's on my list right now. And apparently Matt Cardona already called out Blue Cane. Did you see that Blue Cane guy pop up on Wrestling Twitter the other day?
No.
It's a guy that's just literally Blue Cane on the Indies. So
okay.
It's gimmicky, but it probably works for him. Dirk Bogus stopping by. Good evening, boys. Hello, Dirk.
What's up, Dirk?
Kyne's not shy. He said he is him after winning the OTM PLE title. And Ryan Matthews said I still have
Gags is him.
Oh, I'm not him. What did I do right?
You're a mellow guy.
Oh, that's true. I am a mellow guy.
Yeah.
Ryan Matthews still has yet to watch the Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay match at Forbidden Door. I heard it is amongst the best ever. It is for me. I don't know about you, Tuck.
It was a great match. I think it's getting a little criticized with the Tiger Driver 91 spot a little bit, but like I think Kenny's doing a pretty good job of defending it, saying like that's our choice as creators and and athletes. So I really enjoyed it. Matthews, you're fucking up by not watching it.
Yeah, get on that right now, Ryan Matthews. There's your homework for the evening. But
in about an hour.
Yeah, well, I think he's got his own podcast after ours. So If you're an NFL fan, go check out the Pigskin Project. I believe they are going to be live at 9:30 Central. They are also a part of the Overtime Sports Network. And don't forget all the great merch that we have to offer. Support the show by going to the onthemarkwrestlingpodcast.com. What kind of stuff can they get there, Tuck? Tell them what we got to offer.
Dude, all kinds of stuff. We for men and women, t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, tank tops, crop tops, leggings, flip-flops. Do we have flip-flops?
We used to have flip-flops. We didn't sell any, so I removed them.
You want a coffee mug? We can do that too. So a lot of cool stuff, and we appreciate the support. The honorary Mark t-shirt is doing quite well for us. So you yourself can be the honorary Mark on the markwrestlingpodcast.com.
And we know Pat Novosel is an honorary Mark because he purchased his honorary Mark t-shirt this past weekend using code MITB. It saved him 10% off of his order. So he was smart, and he did it during a pay-per-view weekend. But we're not going to say no to orders this weekend, right?
No.
We'll take it.
We'd really appreciate them this weekend, yeah.
Got to pay the bills. Got to pay the bills over here. Kind said, hey, I've been a mellow guy since early 2022. Kind, you act like that's a long time.
I was about to say, isn't that like everybody?
Yeah, that's pretty much when he came on the scene, right? Yeah. Might snag a mug. Ooh, Ryan Matthews. Might get a mug. Do it. So let's get into it. What do you say, Tuck? You ready to talk some Money in the Bank?
You know it.
But first, I think you have a ticket update on how well they did, because I know it was a packed house. It was loud.
Yeah, pretty close. And WWE, when I say pretty close, WrestleTix and WWE were pretty close. It was a double sellout. They sold out SmackDown as well. They announced 18,885, and WrestleTix had it at a complete sellout of 17,615. So you're talking 35,000 people in 2 days. Kind of a mini WrestleMania feel. I love those SmackDowns in the cities the night before. You
like the Backlash weekend.
Yeah, you get to preview that different ramp. It's a different setup. It has a kind of a different feel, like a pay-per-views tomorrow. And it's a go-home show, and a lot of times at go-home shows, they're on their bullshit and nothing really happens, but you kind of want to watch. So thought that was fun too. Yeah,
I like the unique setups they have there for sure. Mikey Wilson's in the house. He says, welcome back, Tookie.
Hip. Love to be it.
And Ryan Matthews called you out because you said you know it and you didn't say woo woo. He's just calling you out that you missed up.
Okay, well, I know who I'm not voting for MVM today.
So. Seems like a lot of people enjoyed Money in the Bank. Tino said such a great show. Mikey Wilson said awesome, and he loved it. And Ryan Matthews also saying SmackDown has become much watched TV when Roman's on. Hard to disagree with him there, but Money in the Bank, it kicked off with a very good men's Money in the Bank ladder match. As commentary kind of kept pointing out, Tuck, LA Knight was the obvious fan favorite and probably got the best reaction going into it. But as we know now, he is not the guy that is Mr. Money in the Bank, because Senior Money in the Bank is Mr. Damian Priest of the Judgment Day. And, LA Knight was at the top of the ladder there at the end, only to be sent off the ladder by Priest. And a lot of people are upset with this decision, including myself, but I still have no issue with Damian Priest being Mr. Money in the Bank. How does this sit with you? Are you mad that LA Knight didn't win, or are you cool with Damian Priest being Mr. Money in the Bank?
I think it's kind of yes to both. Like I picked LA Knight. I wanted him to win. I want him to have something. Now that WWE is aware of how over LA Knight is. The next 2 months, the run to SummerSlam, he's got to have something or he's out, right? The fans will turn away, start turning the corner. Okay, WWE's on their bullshit again. So I thought LA Knight would win, but I'm excited to see what Priest does with it, especially with Finn Balor kind of in that world heavyweight title scene as well, and it playing a role later in the evening. LA Knight getting something soon. In pursuit of some sort of title, dude, put the U.S. title on him. Right?
What is Theory doing with that title recently? Absolutely nothing.
Right. So I think LA Knight would elevate it even further. And I thought Theory elevated the U.S. title. I thought he's made it relevant.
Originally.
He's had some matches, but now it's cooling off. Give it to LA Knight, right? Or if LA Knight's going to be in it for, again, if he's got a few years left, right? 3-4 years left, you can get a couple good runs in. He's not going to have that Cena like run, Ric Flair.
He's not going to be a Hall of Famer.
No, but
not everybody is.
I think he might end up. He could be a Hall of Famer if he has a couple good year run for the next 4 or 5 years, and then turns into a manager. Then, when he, I think he'd be a good mouthpiece. So that could be something, but I don't think he needs something huge, but I think he needs something quick. Yeah,
I think you just have to. I mean, the crowd reactions don't lie. They tell the whole story of how they like LA Knight. Yeah, that's how Becky Lynch got into the main event. Was she got punched in the face? Yeah, everybody has that one moment where the crowd, the yes movement with Daniel Bryan, the same situation, and they struck there. They changed the main event. I'm not saying you need to change your plans with LA Knight, because I do like the idea of going in a feud with Austin Theory, but he does have to have something soon, whether that be Logan Paul or Austin Theory or something completely else that we're not even considering. I don't know what that could be, but as we saw in the predictions from everybody that did our predictions contest, LA Knight and Damian Priest were the only two people that were chosen. I believe only 2 people had Damian Priest, so shout out to the 2 that had him. And it looks like one of them that did have him is Kine. He said Priest was my choice, to be honest. Storyline for the Judgment Day will be crazy in the future. Finn needs to win the belt. Damian then cashes in on him, sets up a Finn versus Damian feud. Will have banger matches. How do you feel about that one right there?
That's one way. Could be fine. I don't know if you want to blow up the Judgment Day yet, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it would look a lot different afterwards.
Well, I'll tell you what, when he won Money in the Bank, I thought for sure that Finn Balor was going to beat Seth Rollins. I don't know about you. Like, that just seemed to make too much sense to me.
Yeah, I put it in my head. I'm like, Finn could win, Damian could cash in tonight, and Judgment Day looks a lot different tomorrow. Yeah.
Kind, you're actually wrong. That is the spelling of like a senior in school. Senior, I don't have the ability. What's the thing called above the N?
An enye. We're looking for an enye here. It's spelled correctly. It's not grammatically correct due to StreamYard restrictions. It's an enye. We're on it.
Yeah. Senior. So thanks for attempting to help us out. But you're wrong, Kind. You're wrong. Ryan Matthews says. Yeah, you are. Aren't you an English teacher?
Yeah.
Thank you. So you corrected me there. Ryan Matthews basically saying what we've been saying. Something's got to be coming up for LA Knight. He's been fighting in house shows against Theory and Styles and triple threat for the U.S. title. A mid-card title would be big for his build. Interesting. AJ Styles, huh? That could be something. Kind also saying LA Knight will have a feud with Logan, I think. Sets up a SummerSlam match and will be a huge match. Actually, I don't think that's the match we're getting. I think Mikey's onto something here with Logan Paul versus Ricochet. What do you think about that?
Aren't they doing that like next week?
Yeah, but just because they have a match on Raw doesn't mean they can't have a match on the pay-per-view.
No, I think LA Knight comes down or something afterwards and says like, if you thought Ricochet was the biggest opponent at Money in the Bank, no, it was LA Knight.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah,
like kind of saying that this is the movement. I like that. That should be on a t-shirt for sure. Speaking of Ricochet and Logan Paul, though, they probably had the biggest spot and the most fun in this match, and I think that's what they're obviously in the match for. I never thought Ricochet had a chance to win, but Logan Paul, I think a lot of people thought he was a favorite, at least in the top 3. But that one spot that they almost botched, but were still able to go through the tables, it was scary but impressive at the same time how they came out with no serious injuries.
Well, and I think there needs to be some credit to Logan Paul. He turned himself inwards when he realized he wasn't going to get over his head, like get his feet over. He turned inwards to try to get as much of his back as he could. And I don't know that a stiff semi-celebrity wrestler guy would be that athletic about it, so I think that speaks to Logan Paul's ability.
Yeah, Logan Paul just continues to be impressive. And I do think that's the SummerSlam match we're getting. You just got 2 viral wrestlers that are going to get clicks. They can do some cool stuff. And I would assume Logan Paul would go over in that. But like Tino is saying, anyone hear about LA Knight versus Theory with LA Knight taking the title off him? I didn't hear about any reports, but I think that's what majority of the people want. That's what I'll say to that.
It sounds like they're messing with it at house shows too.
Yeah. And Mikey asked, why was Theory not on the card? I think the simple answer, Tuck, is he didn't have a feud, right?
He's United States champion. The show was in the UK. You know what I
mean? Was that a setup? Was Mikey setting you up for that one, or you just knew that?
No. Come on.
That seemed like a perfect tee up and hit the ball. Guy said the spot was a little awkward.
Not smart enough.
That's true. Well, you're smart enough. I don't know about Mikey Wilson. The spot was a little awkward. I hate seeing people blame either one. It was just the time of the falling. Ricochet hit the top first, so it made it awkward. Both improvised very well and sent it. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They improvised that spot. Whoa, and we got some breaking news. Not just the OTM crew, but Ryan Matthews saying, I believe I'll be at SummerSlam. Let's go. Join the party.
Can't wait.
Sounds like Tina's in for Ricochet
and WrestleCon.
Oh yeah, when is it? What day is that again? Is that during the day?
It's Friday, Saturday, and different people will be different days. I think and they'll have a superstore there. They had one in Nashville. We just didn't go to it.
We were very busy in Nashville.
We were making moves.
I'll tell you what, Ryan Matthews, if you make your way to SummerSlam in Detroit and you're there Friday night, I recommend going to GCW, because those Friday night before a big pay-per-view, GCW shows always deliver. Tuck got to experience his first one in Nashville. I mean, you could speak on your behalf. How did you enjoy yourself at GCW?
Yeah, we went again. Mikey and I went again in Vegas. You and I've got tickets for Friday's show. It's just fun, and it's something different. It's kind of the Wild West still. I love those types of shows. And you are on it. You are in it, the action, and you are on top of it.
We'll be too. We are row 3, so might be some spots coming our way. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe we'll see our buddies with the "We're on acid" sign.
Oh yeah.
For the record, we were not on acid. They were on acid.
No acid.
On the record now. No acid was in our system. You can test us and everything. We're fine.
For sure.
Kind said, I've already started saving for WrestleMania in the UK. I know Cena did not lie to us. We will talk about Cena showing up at Money in the Bank in just a little bit. And Ryan Matthews said he might just take the whole weekend off. Who knows? I say OTM gives you a pass. Yep.
Yeah.
Just tell your boss OTM approves of my time off. That should work, right?
And the Overtime Sports Network.
Oh, of course. Yeah, because we're all under the same umbrella. That's a bigger spectrum there. I like it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Damian Priest, Mr. Money in the Bank. We'll see what he does with that briefcase. I would assume it is going to be cashing in on Seth Rollins, because I don't think he's going to go after Gunther. Don't think it's Theory, and there's no way anybody's cashing in on Roman Reigns, right, Tuck?
Oh no, they're keeping that briefcase far away from that storyline, dude. It's too good.
Yeah, they've already been teasing with Seth that you just can't. Don't interrupt the bloodline right now. Let them cook. After the men's Money in the Bank, we had the women's tag team championship match, and it was an interesting one, and not because of the actual wrestling. I thought the wrestling was just fine, but it's really what transpired towards the finish in this match. Shayna out of nowhere, unprovoked, and put Ronda Rousey in the Karafuda clutch, turning on Ronda Rousey and costing them the women's tag team titles. And I don't know about you, Tuck, but at the time I was very confused about it, because it all felt so early and rushed, because I would have liked to maybe seen this stretch to WrestleMania and then do a one-on-one. But it's being reported as of late that Ronda Rousey has a hard out on her current contract. So I guess that's why they did this. But it's still a weird spot in general, don't you think?
Kind of funky, yeah. The match time got cut a number of times. Like, it was they got significantly less time than they thought they would. So it did kind of feel rushed, a little like chunky, like a weird time of the match. And then I also picked Ronda and Shayna because I didn't think it would happen this soon, and didn't pick up the point there. So, yep.
I think a lot of us were on Shayna and Ronda in that match.
Oh yeah, and on Raw, Shayna's spot with Ronda was real. Like, I'm excited to hear.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good too, and she didn't hold back either, right? Like, and she's got credible, legit beef. I've had to earn it. You walked in and we're giving it, So I'm excited.
I'm surprised she didn't say tell her when she's telling lies.
Oh,
that seems to be a thing, right?
Tell me when I'm telling lies. I hate it.
Oh, I didn't like it either, trust me, but it would have been funny if Shayna just ended up copying CM Punk right then and there. But yeah, I mean, the match itself at Money in the Bank was okay. It is very interesting to note that Liv Morgan has now pinned Ronda Rousey at least 2 or 3 times. So she definitely has the number of Ronda Rousey. But I think coming out of this match, we're probably getting Shayna versus Ronda at SummerSlam. I think that's what everybody's assuming.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's go to the chat. Let's see what they got
Less
to
than
say.
a month away.
Yeah. What? Almost basically 4 weeks at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a lot coming up, man. Because next weekend I'm in Pennsylvania for a wiffle ball tournament.
Hell
and
yeah.
then we got SummerSlam, and then I'm going to a Wiz and Snoop Dogg concert. Like, it's heating up here. Got to stay active.
There you go.
Ryan Matthews said, I am begging Randy Orton to come back. I thought for sure he'd return after Gunther's match. I feel like McIntyre is a placeholder now after seeing how he's teaming with Riddle. Interesting. I do think Randy's close to being back, though, right?
I think so. I hope.
Shayna Kind said Shayna doing that was good. Sets the feud for SummerSlam. Will boost Shayna after SummerSlam when she wins the feud. Oh, so Kind's saying that Shayna will pick up the win at SummerSlam. I mean, if Ronda's contract's running on a hard out, I'm assuming Shayna's going to go over, right?
Yeah. I just wonder when the out is. If SummerSlam will be the last PLE, then yeah, I think Shayna's got to win, right?
Yeah, I agree. And it seems like Ryan is saying that he's filling the spot of Randy Orton. I don't know if that's the case, but once again, people, we're jumping the gun. We will get to Drew McIntyre, I promise you, but we're talking about the women's tag team titles and Liv and Raquel are the new champions. Okay, that's cool, but after that, who are they going to face? Like, is it Caden Carter and Katana Chance? Because Katana Chance had a really cool spot on Monday Night Raw a couple weeks ago. I think they're very talented.
Yeah, they're dope, but that's like the only other actual tag team.
Pretty much, right?
Isla Dawn and Alba Fire.
Yeah, good call.
Damage
so all the
Control,
real tag teams are NXT.
things. Yeah.
A Jace, I guess you could say. Joe Cena in the house, the brother of John Cena. He said, I think WWE has been recently. Why does everyone... Wait, I'm struggling to read this one, Tucky. Can you help me out?
I think he's trying to say like WWE has said recently they think like Orton will be back, but like will he actually recover? Why do so many people believe that he'll recover from the injury if he actually,
we don't know. That's the real.
Right?
Yeah, we don't know the severity of the injury or what exactly is going on. But maybe if he returns, he'll end up telling us. Kind said, I don't want Drew to beat Gunther, as Gunther should break the record. The record is currently 454 days, and Gunther is about 390. I tell you what, they like breaking records, though, don't they? So that I wouldn't be too surprised.
They've been on them lately. Yeah, they've been about it.
Eric Douglas said he thinks that the hard out will come into play at SummerSlam. I think that's what a lot of people are kind of assuming at this point. And Kind said he's happy that Liv and Raquel won. They probably will take on Isla Dawn and Alba Fire next. Oh, that's another good one. Another good point from Eric Douglas. They are facing Sonya and Chelsea because Sonya and Chelsea won the Gauntlet #1 contenders
Chelsea
match.
Green.
It's like Ludwig Kaiser.
I like that where a few of them have kind of like their own like skin to it, different tones and shit. That's cool.
She's got to be the best announcer of the modern era, at least in my opinion. Ring announcer, I should say. Even better than Justin Roberts.
Except for when she said Bayley was from Judgment Day.
We all fuck up, Doc. I fumble my words on every episode, but I'm also not on live TV, but she's the best. I do love the Chelsea Green. We need that sound. Funny. We need that sound bit every time we talk about Chelsea Green on the show. That and Ludwig Kaiser, that'd be awesome. But let's move on then to Gunther. It seemed like a lot of people wanted to talk about this one and what happened after the match. Gunther did retain his IC title against Riddle. I thought the match was solid as a whole. They told that story with Riddle's ankle because Gunther and Imperium were attacking that Monday Night Raw after Monday Night Raw. But once again, after Gunther retained his title, Drew McIntyre would return for the first time since WrestleMania to confront Gunther, hit him with a Claymore to a thunderous ovation. First off, Tuck, I wasn't expecting Drew to show up. I know a lot of people were talking about it, but they kept it kind of hush. What a reaction he got there in London.
Oh yeah. I think they did a pretty good job keeping it under wraps too. I know I was surprised, and I'm looking forward to the feud.
Yeah, that's obviously going to be one of the SummerSlam matches. But like Kine was talking about earlier, you have Gunther's reign getting close to breaking the record. It's tough, but I feel like Drew desperately would need a win over Gunther, no? Because he's coming off that loss in that triple threat at WrestleMania.
And then you have him lose again.
Yeah.
He makes this hot debut. He makes it, makes the return, loses the Intercontinental Championship. Like, where's he going to go? He's not going to go up the card, right?
Unless he turns heel, maybe. Like, say he loses to Gunther. I don't know if he joins Imperium. I'm not going to go that far in fantasy booking, but maybe that just sets him off, and then he goes on a little bit of a heel run. Maybe that's only their other option, but I as of right now, I think I would pick Drew McIntyre to beat Gunther at SummerSlam. I know the record's appealing, but for me, I think you have to strike now. That's just me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't have to return him and put him in the feud if they wanted Gunther to win,
right?
Like and beat the record. I don't know. We'll see.
They're really in a tough spot. They really are, I think, with this one. The kind said the ring general should not lose the belt until he breaks that record, but I don't think they bring back Drew to make him lose, which is basically what we're saying. Kind gets it. That's the stuff right there. What do? You cooking over there or something?
No, Ludwig, every time he takes Gunther's jacket.
Oh, yeah. He twirls it, right?
He's into that shit. I love him.
There's so much like little things that you pick up on that I don't. And that's why I appreciate you as my co-host. I mean, like, I know that he does that subconsciously. I know that, but you remind me. That's
like a vivid thing for. I don't know why. I love the way he talks. Like, I can't imagine just holding the mic. Like, my job is to be serious and compelling in front of 18,000 people and not screw up my words. And like, I just think that's impressive because I would be shitting my pants.
Oh yeah, he's a well-spoken dude for sure. What do you think about the match though between Riddle and Gunther? Was it all right with you?
It was less of a banger than I thought it would be, but that doesn't mean it was bad. And I thought they got it in enough to make the McIntyre debut special. You know what I mean? Like, if that was a 10 out of 10 and then McIntyre comes back, you're like, oh, I was hoping we could see Riddle and Gunther again. So I get it. That was good.
I wouldn't be surprised if Riddle just got like a match on Monday Night Raw or something with Gunther again and then loses, and then you can have Drew, come out and challenge him for a SummerSlam match or something like that. I'm sure there's a way to see a rematch between those two, even though he lost pretty clean. We got a fantasy booking scenario here from Kine. He said Drew loses, takes Angela the sword out, beheads Ludwig Kaiser, heel turn done.
Wow.
I mean, I think that's a way to turn him heel, right?
That is a way, yeah. They like going viral. They like these like viral TikTok moments. That a beheading would do it.
Hey, they took out Rey Mysterio's eye, so
yeah. Well, thank God for medical advancements. I don't know if they've ever reattached a head to a body, but we know they can. If you keep the eye well kept for long enough, and get it there quick, yeah, they can definitely put it back.
I guess we'll find out if Kine's fantasy booking becomes true.
I have not thought about that match since it happened.
No, that's like one of the two matches on the card where it's like, okay, it was there, but it's not what got people talking, Yeah. A lot of people talking about Cena. Trust me, guys. I'm going to pull up your comments when we get to the John Cena part, but I like to stay in order here. Ryan Matthews said, honestly, I've seen crazier from this company, so he wouldn't be surprised.
Mae Young did give birth to a hand. That's kind of
that the craziest thing that's probably happened in WWE history? That's just like away from real life.
I don't know.
Off the top of my head, I would say
Vince
so.
McMahon died.
Oh yeah, blew up in the limousine.
Yeah, blew up in the limousine. Somebody else. Or no, he just poured concrete in the car. There wasn't anybody in it.
Right. Elias and Ezekiel was weird, but it's not as weird as giving birth to a hand or anything like that.
Yeah.
But of course, Ezekiel was just the brother of Elias. I don't want to sit here and say that they were the same person, you know?
Yeah, because they weren't. And we never even met Elrod.
That's true. We never got the chance to, which is unfortunate. Custody battle match was crazy. Oh, yeah. That's a good call. I believe he's talking about Eddie and Ray, right? With Dom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is very WWE of them to do. And speaking of Dom, let's go to Dom's match at Money in the Bank. Cody Rhodes defeat Dom Mysterio in pretty dominating fashion. No Brock Lesnar interference either. This, for me, was another match I thought was fine. The reaction that Cody still is getting, I think, is fantastic. But for me, it was probably the worst match of the night. And I don't even think it was bad by any means. I think that speaks volumes on how this Money in the Bank card was. What did you feel about this?
I think a lot of people had it hyped that Brock would play a role in it. And then once he didn't, it was like, okay, well, you just beat Dom then. That's okay. Gave him something to do. But there wasn't like a satisfying payoff that some people built in their own head, like myself included. They used that to juice Raw the next night. So I think it's kind of smart business. Right, like the bloodline story was going to be enough coming out of it, and then you had the Money in the Bank winners. There were a lot of things to talk about, and you wanted to like bring Brock back. And come on, Brock's going to fly to the UK. We should have known better.
It would have been too much with all the moments that we had at Money in the Bank, and it could have got lost in the shuffle. And like you said, on Monday Night Raw, they opened up the show hot. Cody was out there and Brock Lesnar showed up. So that's how we are getting to their match at SummerSlam. But it was confusing to me. I don't know if you watched the show. I think you stopped in the comment section for a little bit last week, but a lot of people were high on Dominic. A lot of people thought Dominic was going to be the one to defeat Cody here, but I just don't. I didn't see it then. Obviously, I don't see it now, and I don't know how you feel about that, why people were so high on Dominic going into this.
Well, I picked Dominic to win.
Oh, you did? You were one of those people.
With Brock shenanigans, though. Like something was going to a ref spot would allow Brock to come down and F5 Cody, and Dom would win. So then Cody gets pinned. Dom says he can say he pinned Cody Rhodes. And then that was how Brock Lesnar was reintroduced back into the feud.
Yeah.
That's why I picked them. Not like
I see.
I never thought Dom would beat Cody clean.
Yeah, that definitely was never going to be the case. Joe Cena said, all we need is a Legends WrestleMania 40. Now you need The Rock versus Roman because they have been talking about that for months. John Cena to win a championship and Austin Fury, I think he means Theory, to lose his. Okay, interesting take there from Joe. Kind said we've had people buried alive. We've had Paul Bearer buried alive in concrete. So, yeah, they're just bringing up all the crazy things that have happened. Trish barking like a dog. Yeah, Eric, that's a good one. Also, Trish's storyline with Mickey. Mickey James, that was crazy as well. Kind said Dom should have won. Boo Cody. Ooh, boo Cody. Really?
Wow.
And he said at least Cody finished the story now. And like Joe Cena said, no, he didn't. He did not finish the story because I think that story will be finished at next year's WrestleMania, right?
I think so too. Against
Roman Reigns.
You think?
Yeah, he's facing Roman at WrestleMania. I don't know how he gets there, but then again, WWE will find a way to get it there. The brand split really doesn't matter. Ryan Matthews asked, how was Vince McMahon not canceled sooner? That's just how it was back in the day, right? You could just do shit like that and nobody would care.
Yeah, cancel culture was not a thing during the Attitude Era like that. And Triple H says it all the time. Like, we wouldn't dare do most of that stuff today.
Not even
because of the way people view the world. And again, that does, like, I don't know, like some of it wasn't poor taste. Like gay jokes were never fun to me, but like some of the stuff that happened was like, it's just, yeah, that's how it was. And if you don't like it, they've got two words for you. Suck it.
Suck it. Wow. Mm-hmm. Look at us. Here we go. Let's get to it. The chat's very excited for this, as am I, because as you guys know that listen to the show, every single week. John Cena is my GOAT, and he did return out of nowhere at Money in the Bank. Like Drew, though, Tuck, no one leaked this. No one expected it. And I think that's what made this moment so great.
Yeah, fun. Like, is WWE nervous or like trying to compete in the UK market with, AEW and All In coming up or something? I don't know. It was just fun to see him back. And I don't necessarily think it jumpstarts a feud or anything for him.
Maybe because Grayson Waller did interrupt, and I thought he held his own on the mic. And he took the AA. Obviously, John Cena comes out on top at the end.
Love Grayson Waller on the mic. They've got a lot of trust in him for how young he is and how new he is. I like it.
Yeah, because every single SmackDown he's been on, he's had a talk show, right? The Grayson Waller effect
with with
Charlotte was one of them.
Ones. Yeah. Not just chumps. So I'm enjoying it.
Imagine, and I think this is his first PLE appearance. Your first PLE, you're in the ring with arguably the greatest of all time. And I think most people would agree that he was great. Grayson Waller was a star in this segment.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Cena came out vouching for a WrestleMania in London, which I think is a fantastic idea. I also think, Tuck, if he comes out there saying that stuff, that it's going to happen. He's not just going to go out there and they're not going to deliver, right?
Well, Triple H in the presser kind of walked it back a little bit. Interestingly, he's just like very cautious. And I don't know. He just talked about the logistics of everything and how hard it is to put a Mania on compared to a Money in the Bank per se, running a full stadium, 2 nights that they would, so he was cautious. Like, it seemed like he was like, here are some things that are going to need to happen if you want it, almost like putting a feeler out. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of testing the waters to see how it would be perceived, and it seemed like everybody was about it. And I think they definitely deserve it because those crowds are fantastic, better than most, if not all, of the U.S. cities here in the States. But we got a comment from Joe Cena. He says Roman will lose at SummerSlam. He thinks John Cena is still better and greater than Roman Reigns. If he were to lose, I think it would be to Jey Uso. That seems to be the match that they're setting up, but we will get to that towards the end of the show. Ryan Matthews says the inner kid in me hates the Cena one-offs. Why would the inner kid in you hate that?
Because he wants him here full time.
Full time.
Okay. Yeah, he wants him week to week. I get that.
Yeah, he's just old now, guys. You're not going to get him week to week, but you got to enjoy it when you get it. Kine was going crazy. It was crazy. Cena's the GOAT, and he has returned 100%. Kine, not disagreeing with you on that one. Waller held his own in all fairness. Yes, he definitely did. And then Kine also says, I just think Hunter would not agree to anything because they cannot confirm it yet. There is a lot of little things that need to be done, sort of what Tuck was saying there just a little bit ago. So, yeah, cool seeing John Cena. Like Tuck said, though, I don't know if it sets up anything, but if you were to have a match at SummerSlam, I think we would both be okay with Grayson Waller versus John Cena, no?
Yeah, it'd be fun,
I think Cena would go over, though.
Cena's not necessarily going for a title, but I think Cena's got to win.
Yeah. I would assume, and I don't think Grayson Waller gets hurt losing to John Cena on his first PLE. So
right.
If that is the direction they go, I'm all here for it. I think it would be good. So let's move on. We got 3 more things to talk about here from Money in the Bank. Let's go to another ladder match, the women's side of things here. And they had to follow that wonderful segment too, which is tough, but Io was the fan favorite, and this time the fan favorite prevailed. Io won this match by handcuffing Bayley and Becky to the ladder. Overall, though, how did you feel about the women's match compared to the men's?
I thought it was great. I thought it was very strong, much stronger than last year's match. A good mix of talent and a number of compelling storylines. They used it kind of like a Rumble, right? You get a bunch of people, and there's many different threads. So you've got the Bayley Io thread, you've got the Becky everybody thread. There's a lot of different stories coming out of it. So I think it's interesting. I'm interested to see what Io does with it.
Yeah, and I think that's the good thing about Money in the Bank matches, like what you were talking about, that it creates other feuds going forward. Like with the men's, you can have Ricochet and Logan Paul, maybe even LA Knights in the mix. You still have Becky, Trish, and Zoe. You have the dynamic of Bayley and Io, which you were talking about. And like I said, I think this was a lot of people's pick, Io Sky. I think she's the one that probably deserved it the most. But I think the spot of this match for me was Zelina Vega hitting that code red on the ladder to Zoe Stark. That was impressive.
Oh, yeah. It was real, and it was risky, and it was real risky, and they nailed it.
And Eric agrees that Zelina's sunset flip from one ladder to another was incredible. Ryan Matthews asked, no way Cena comes out with a bunch of Make-A-Wish kids and loses, right? That was WrestleMania, though, and that was Austin Theory. I think that's a different situation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Grayson Waller still hasn't really dove into anything on the main roster. Kind said the women's match was good. The ending was fire. Zelina had a crazy spot. That seems to be what stands out the most. But now with Io Sky having the briefcase and obviously damage control still being a thing, you had Io handcuff Bayley in that match. But I don't know if you saw the presser. Bayley was alongside Io with the briefcase doing an interview. Is there any chance that we get a fail cash in with this one? I feel like Bayley could easily cost Io a cash in.
And the women have been 100% successful, haven't they?
Yep.
And WWE likes their new. So I could see it.
It just really came to my head. I didn't think about that until I started talking. I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Or maybe Dakota Kai comes back and costs Io Sky a cash in. But regardless, I do believe Io wouldn't be put into this situation if they didn't believe she was ready to be in the title picture. I think now she is definitely there. It's just a matter of time to see where she's going to cash in, when, and how damage control plays to all of this. But did you like the men's or the women's Money in the Bank match better? Because I know Jeremy Tillema, he said he liked the women's better. I like the men's better. Where do you stand?
I go A- for the men's, B+ for the women's. Like pretty close.
Yeah,
but I prefer the men's match.
I agree totally. They both were still very good. Kind agrees with us. He said Bayley cost her, then they feud. Simple storytelling, I would think. Eric Douglas saying, we didn't see Bayley on Monday. She's scheming on the low, Tucky.
Yeah,
she's scheming. And look who it is, ladies and gentlemen. My mother, Donna Gagliardi, in the house. Clap it up.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. She hosts a fantastic 4th of July party.
You're putting that work because just a couple weeks ago you had your birthday banger too. You know,
a lot of things going down at the Gagliardi household. I think we're gonna lay low for a little bit. I think we're all partied out
for sure.
When I got all these big weekends coming up, we'll party elsewhere. We'll party in Detroit, right?
There we go. Yep, looking forward to it.
Kind said, I like the men's better, to be honest, but both were very good. Yeah, I think everybody would agree that both those matches were very good. But we got 2 more matches to talk about here at Money in the Bank, one of them being Seth Rollins retaining his World Heavyweight title against Finn Balor. I assumed Finn was going to win because Priest won Money in the Bank earlier, but that didn't happen. But as the match itself, the two have great in-ring chemistry. You can't deny that. And I think it was as good as expected. But I think it could have benefited from a few more minutes because if I'm not mistaken, I think this match ran like 11 minutes. I don't know if you saw that, but it just seemed like there just needed to be a little something to this, you know?
Yeah, it could have done. It would have benefited from a few more minutes, but yeah, it wasn't like match of the year, but they always do deliver. I just wish we could have got 18 or 20 minutes.
Do you think Finn gets a rematch at SummerSlam?
Yeah, sure. I'd be all right with that, and then give him more time.
I still think that a cash-in is going to happen at SummerSlam. I think that's when Priest does it. I think they'll wait a little bit on Io. It just seems like the right time because Rollins is right now just kind of defending his title whenever he can. He's already had, I believe, 4 title defenses since winning. I think this is all going to catch up to him. It's taken advantage of. Maybe Finn does win for a brief second at SummerSlam if that match does happen. And then you cash in with Damian Priest. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then you give you could do Finn and Damian Priest and ultimately have Finn win and carry the title. Because I do think he can carry a title for a minute. Like he's about ready, you know?
Yeah, I think he's a worthy champion for sure. Ryan Matthews said Judgment Day drama is happening way too soon. Would you agree with that, Tuck?
Maybe. I don't think
It's like a wait and see
off
kind of
yet.
thing.
Yeah, like yeah, we'll see.
Well, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, Ryan Vogus was saying that he wanted them to turn face. I think it's definitely too soon for that. But there obviously is some dissension right now in the group. And that the Money in the Bank dynamic, Finn being in the world title scene, Dom's kind of just there hanging around getting heat. And then you have Rhea, who really hasn't found anything quite yet for SummerSlam. Who knows what she's going to be doing. But yeah, man, we'll see what they plan for SummerSlam. But Seth versus Finn definitely could be a rematch that we get there. Kind said that it could have been better. Was hyped up to be unbelievable, very anticlimactic. Was good to see that Damian cost Finn. I think that's probably the story to take out of this match, right?
Yep, I agree.
So we'll see what happens going forward. But we got one more match to talk about. The main event from Money in the Bank, the Bloodline Civil War, and another Bloodline masterpiece transpired there in the main event of Money in the Bank, where we saw Roman Reigns get pinned for the first time in 3 years. Let me reiterate that. The first time in 3 years, Jey Uso is the one to pin Roman Reigns. And I don't want to sit here and brag, but for the second, PLE prediction show in a row, I said Roman was going to get pinned. It finally happened here with Jey Uso. So that's the biggest thing, I think, coming out of Money in the Bank. First off, the match itself goes about a half hour, leans heavy into the storytelling, but, I mean, it's just consistently good stuff, Tuck. They don't seem to miss with anything Bloodline related.
No, and they're giving more and more shine to Solo with each step of the way as well, which is fun to see because he is a silent type, but he's not just a stoic muscle in the back, and so many good emotions. Roman sold his ass off in a number of spots, like looking vulnerable, looking human. Yeah, I love to see it.
I would say that Roman Reigns' selling is the most underrated thing about him. I don't think people talk about that.
He's
enough.
working on it. He's definitely better.
Yeah, and like Kind said, one word to describe it: cinema. That's what it's been consistently in 2023 for sure. And Kind was another person that called it on the live last week. He said he would get pinned by Jay. So shout out to him, the OTM PLE champion. Ryan Matthews said, I don't know if Roman makes it to WrestleMania 40. That might be what they want me to think, though. Interesting. So knowing Jey Uso is the one that pinned Roman, he's probably the one going to face Roman at SummerSlam. Do you think it's possible for Jey Uso to become the unified world heavyweight champion?
Yes.
It really is a tough question. Yes?
I say yes because anything's possible. They get to write the damn story.
Would you do it?
Here's the thing with Jey Uso winning is going to be great, but what's next? Like you gotta have the after win mapped out to be pretty solid and thorough too, because I think we're getting that a little bit with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn right now. They won the big one, and they're hanging around. So
they're like Beetlejuice, just hanging around right now. We're waiting to see who they could potentially face. Me? Yeah. Nothing. But yeah, a lot to unpack in this one. The Usos hitting a double spear on Roman Reigns, a ref bump, of course. Jey Uso kicking out via the low blow to Roman, which I think is a nice touch. That's sort of poetic justice, if you will, for all the times that Roman escaped a pinfall over the past few years. Don't know if you notice it, but Roman tends to uppercut and low blow people to kick out. Jey Uso did it to Roman here, and that's why he was able to get out of the 2 count. That was awesome.
And his face, the pure agony, the shock and awe of what just happened, and I'm in an immense amount of pain. I do love how sports entertainment places so much pain factor on the nuts.
Especially with Roman. It seems like Roman's either got a rough bump or a nut shot going on in his matches. But I guess that's what happens there when you're a heel and you're trying to keep the title reign going. But after it's all said and done, Jey Uso is the first person, like I said, to pin Roman since December of 2019, and we probably will see Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, which I'm excited for. I think storyline-wise, it would make sense for Jey Uso to win. I wouldn't be mad if Jey Uso won at SummerSlam. I just don't think it's going to happen. He is main event Jey Uso. He's built himself to be a credible single star, but I still can't see him holding the world title.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
Would you be mad at it though? Like, say Jey Uso surprisingly gets that win at SummerSlam.
If he wins and it stinks after, because Roman Reigns' reign has been incredible. So
that's going to be the hardest part of all of this, is that who becomes champion after Roman, if they can live up to the lineage that now he is established for that title. I think there's only one guy to do that, and I think it's the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. But let me go to the chat one last time here before we get to the MVM. Kine said, I think it's possible, but I don't think it happens. They have the gun loaded, but they will not pull the trigger. And I think that is a great way of putting it right there, Kine. I would have to agree with you at this very moment. Kine also said Jey was also the first to pin Roman in WWE long-term storytelling. Yeah, when the Usos, and I think it was 2013, they pinned Roman when he was a member of the Shield. So that is good storytelling right there. The first and the last person to pin Roman Reigns was, in fact, Jey Uso. Eric asked, what about Sami beating Roman Reigns? Would you be here for that?
Has that ship sailed?
Could you get back to it, though? That's the hard part, I think. I think if you got back to it in a way that made sense, he could, but I think you might be right.
Back to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I'll tell you what, though. It was a very good show. I enjoyed it from top to bottom. Tucky, you're the teacher here. What's the letter grade for Money in the Bank?
A-, B+. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it.
I think it was a big moments show. Like, there was no... I mean, the Money in the Bank ladder matches were fantastic. Those were probably the matches of the night. But other than that, it was filled with, the Drew McIntyres, the John Cena, Grayson Waller. And it felt like a very good PLE. I think an A- is a fair grade for it. And I'm excited for SummerSlam, man, because you have these potential matches. You have Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. That's probably going to happen. Shayna versus Ronda. Austin Theory versus LA Knight. Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Can you think of any others? Maybe Bianca, Charlotte, and Asuka in a triple threat. That would be awesome. There's just so many good matches that they can do at SummerSlam. So time will tell there. But speaking of time, it is that time of the episode to give out the MVM of OTM. If you don't know what that is, it's the most valuable mark, the person that's interacting from start to finish, giving us the best quality comments. We had a couple contenders this evening. Ryan Matthews coming hot out the gate. Ryan Matthews giving out Bear Spring Training tickets today, doing a good deed, being a good brother.
Wow.
But ladies and gentlemen, we have a new MVM. He is also the OTM PLE champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the most valuable mark, Kine.
What a guy. Staying up late, burning the midnight oil. You got to respect it.
I'll tell you what, Kine has been with us now consistently for the past month, and he's always in it to win it. That dude is active in the chat, Tucky.
There's no kidding around. Yeah, you better come correct because he's defending the title. The MVM title's kind of got the World Heavyweight Championship kind of vibe, where the working man's title is going to be very present. He did a good job.
It looks like Ryan Matthews is not happy. He said, dummy. Yeah. Ryan Matthews, you were a close second. I will say that. And Kine said, finally reclaimed my belt. Yeah, it was Steve's for 2 weeks, but now it is going back to Kine. So it's Kine 2 belts going on over there across the pond. But yeah, I think that's all we got for him. Episode 152 in the books, a good Money in the Bank. Tucky, you got any final thoughts before you send us home?
No, I'm excited. I think coming out of the show, there's a number of layers and many buttons to press. We're about 4 weeks away. So 4 Raws or maybe 3 now, 4 Raws, 4 SmackDowns. You got some layers. Great American Bash is coming up with NXT as well towards the end of the
What
month.
is that at the end of the month?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the next AEW pay-per-view is All In, right? That's the next show for them.
That is, yep.
And that's the end of August. So we're kind of going into that storyline mode now, seeing what happens and so forth. But make sure you visit us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at Pod on the Mark. You already know what it is. And visit onthemarkwrestlingpodcast.com for all your merch needs. Go pick yourself up a t-shirt or a hoodie. Get yourself a mug. I know Matthews is definitely going to buy a coffee mug because he said it on the comment section. So we'll be happily awaiting that purchase.
Yeah, Ryan Matthews, you better do what you said you're going to do. And you also better show up to SummerSlam. We would love to party with Ryan Matthews.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a great time.
And he said Kyle's got to pull double duty with OTSN soon. I think he's hinting towards me joining the Pigskin Project after OTM like one episode. Yeah, that might happen. What it sounds. I do.
Long night for you, but it's worth it for the fans.
Oh, I'm not going to do it tonight, but eventually I will do it. I do know more than wrestling. I kind of know a little bit about football too. Just saying.
College basketball, people forget.
I kind of just am the host for that. I just know about Indiana basketball. I'm just there so I don't get fined. I really only know about IU, but that's about it.
I heard you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, same people. Maybe Ian. You never know.
Maybe somebody else. We don't know.
Maybe
it's you.
People. Could be you. It will be me.
Yeah, you'll be right.
Yeah,
I hope you're there.
Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.